Hey everyone, Pat Mitchell here, and tonight I'm going to expose one of the biggest stock market conspiracies that's out there. Not only that, but I'm going to show you exactly how to profit from it. And we're going to do this right now. So let's get into it. Okay, folks, so I'm sure you guys hear all the time, stock market's rigged, it's a conspiracy, this and that. And you hear a bunch of people talking about how they got jacked out of money or their earnings or their savings or any of their other investments by either some different investment group or really their own stupidity. Let's face it. You got to remember, and I'm a firm believer in this, I never blame the market for anything. The market's always right. That's one of the cliches in the day trading and trading community that is 100% correct. 100%. It's always your fault. It's never the market's fault. On that note, there are certain little subtleties and certain little hints and, well, certain little conspiracies that if you pay attention to, you can really profit from. So before we get into what I want to show you, if you listen to this, love me or hate me, if you listen to this, I promise you, you will profit from this. And you need to pay attention to it. It doesn't happen every day, but when it does, it's as good as gold. This happens over and over and over and over again. I've literally seen this hundreds of times. I've also pointed this out many times live on screen share before the market open, and then as the market opens and the stock either drives up or down into this place, into this level, that's where it stops. So to give a little bit of a backstory on this, we all know about institutions and hedge funds. These are the institutional traders. Institutions are basically banks. You can call them banks. We'll call them banks. That's the easiest way to explain it. Hedge funds are funds that are put together that trade multiple products, and it's all under one roof. And they basically make money from for their clients, their investors, like that. It would be almost like an ETF, like the SPY or the UVXY. It's kind of like that. These hedge funds and these institutions, they all have friends, right? They have buddies. They have buddies that work at other institutions and other hedge funds. So how do they communicate with each other? Well, they can't just phone up on cell phone, and they can't just text them, hey, I just heard the boss man is driving stock XYZ down into $189 a share this morning. Right? You can't, their phones are monitored, they're very heavily regulated, okay? How do they communicate with each other? Well, what's the easiest way in the market as a day trader or a trader in general to communicate? The charts. The charts, the charts, the charts. That's why I always say just watch the charts. There's subtleties and clues and hints day in and day out. Here it is. Pay attention. If you haven't seen this before, you're going to learn something, and I need you to take this as gospel because you can make money this way. This chart here, first chart, you will see a circle with a little red dot. That's a candle. It's a very small candle. Now, we call them a phantom tick. Now, I know what you're saying, Pat, but Tim Sykes told me that these don't matter, that they're just mistakes on the chart. They're not mistakes on the chart. You've been lied to. Doesn't know what he's talking about. Anytime you see these and they're way down and they look odd, they look out of place, when something's out of place like that, take it as a signal, take it as a sign. You don't need to go in huge size with it, but try it. Try the next one. That's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to try the next one that comes up. Now remember, it needs to look very similar to this chart. It can't just be a couple ticks down. It needs to look out of place, okay? Now, you'll see sometimes really long candles pre-market. Those are generally market maker candles, and what that means is they're clearing their books. They're behind on processing the orders. So some people think that all orders are processed immediately. They're not. Sometimes you won't see your orders go through on the level 2 or the tape. You won't, I'm telling you, you won't see them. The market makers will put those through later on, okay? And a perfect example to see that is pre-market. So the second chart here, that level that I have drawn with the circled candle, now that's the price point. That's the price point that you're going to watch, okay? Now run your eyes across that line. Where did it hit? Where did it hit twice? What happened there? So Nvidia, yesterday, it sold off when the market was coming up. It was odd, and that's what's so funny about that mark, is that even though every other stock was coming up, for the most part, Nvidia was coming down. Something was weird to begin with. Now, they drove the stock all the way down to that level, to that little tick. And it based. That's where it finally based. Now, did it break? Yes, it broke. But look what happened. Yesterday was also at 2 p.m. was a big Fed announcement. Now, it's a little fishy when you see ticks like that on Fed day, okay? Now, look at that algo. If you don't know what that is, that's that big pop, those big candles. Look at that. Look at where that algo popped right to the penny. Now, I have other videos on how to trade algos. A lot of people fear algos, not if you know what's behind them and basically how they work. Not on the technical side of things, like not actually building an algo. I could give two shits about that. But how they trade and how they move. They're quite predictable. Don't fear algorithms, folks. Okay, a lot of people, they've been told to stay away from higher price stocks because of the algos. No. Quite the opposite. This pop came right back into that level perfectly. If you were watching the Fed at 2 p.m., and you've seen this before multiple times like we have, you can take that trade into that algo because that's where it'll top out. It does it constantly, all the time. Now, guys, I know what some of you out there are going to say, that this is hindsight. No, it's not. We take trades like this based on these phantom ticks, the ticks that Tim Sykes told you that don't matter and are mistakes all the time. So you can call it a conspiracy, you can call it what you like, but the fact remains you can profit from these subtleties in the stock market all the time. Ask gas or grass. Nobody rides for free, folks. Payment for this video is a like and a share and a subscribe and a comment. That's all you got to do. So come on, ain't nothing free in this world. And I'm Pat Mitchell, reminding you, if you want to become a real trader trading real stocks, come to TrickTrades.com. Adios.